Caitlin Clark had hilarious responsible question as Fever celebrated with Cup trophy. Caitlin Clark didn't participate on the court during the Indiana Fever's victory in the WNBA Commissioner's Cup final over the Minnesota Lynx, but she sure participated in the celebration. The superstar guard missed her third straight game due to a groin injury Tuesday, marking her 8th missed contest of the season. Indiana had a difficult test with the 14-2 Lynx in front of them, especially with the stakes at hand, which included a boatload of prize money. The Fever stood tall, though, with a signature 74-59 win led by Aliyah Boston and the newly named Commissioner's Cup MVP, Natasha Howard. Clark celebrated on the court, interrupting Boston's post-game interview because she was so fired up. That continued into the locker room as the Fever celebrated with the Commissioner's Cup trophy and plenty of adult beverages to go around. Clark held the jagged-edged trophy, helping her teammates use it like a chalice as she tried to make sure each member of the Fever took a sip out of the hardware. And she dropped a hilarious but mostly responsible question as she called out names while wielding the filled-up trophy. Who's next? Is she 21? Guys, is KK 21? Is KK 21? Clark excitedly repeated through the chaos. By KK, Clark was referring to rookie Michaela Timpson, the youngest member of the Fever, who the team selected with the 19 pick in the second round of this year's WNBA draft. There was nothing to worry about because Timpson is 22 years old, but it made for a hilarious moment for the young team navigating their first locker room celebration at the professional level. The irony behind the situation is that Clark and her co-star Boston are the next youngest members of the Fever, both currently 23 years old. But Clark wasn't sure, so it's best to check. Indiana's Commissioner's Cup final win doesn't count toward the regular season standings as the team sits at 8-8. But the title, over an incredible team like the Lynx at that, can serve as an important stepping stone for a franchise trying to take the next step. And they got the win without their biggest star, who couldn't miss out on the festivities. The locker room was a sea of energy, dancing feet, champagne mists, glittering smiles, and the shimmering shine of silverware. The Indiana Fever, against all odds, had just clinched the WNBA Commissioner's Cup, a moment that would be etched in franchise history. Cameras were rolling, fans were roaring, and teammates were shouting and singing in celebration. But in the midst of the chaos, laughter erupted from one corner of the locker room, all because of one unexpected, perfectly timed question from Caitlin Clark. The rookie phenom, the face of a new WNBA era, had delivered once again on the court. Her clutch three-pointers, precise passes, and unshakable confidence were pivotal in the Fever's victory. Yet it wasn't just her game-winning talent that made headlines after the trophy celebration. It was her uniquely Clarkian moment of hilarity and maturity, a question so earnest and oddly responsible it caught everyone off guard. As confetti fell and music blasted through the speakers, Caitlin stood beside the glistening Commissioner's Cup, wide-eyed and grinning. Teammates posed with it like it was the Holy Grail, hoisting it high above their heads, balancing it like a pizza pan, and even pretending to drink out of it like it was a giant soda cup at a ballpark. Then came Caitlin's turn. She stepped forward, hands lightly brushing the polished handles, and suddenly paused. She looked around, as if searching for an invisible authority figure. Huh? 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 What? I said, as then, with the curious hesitation of someone about to break a rule in a museum, she asked, "Wait, are we allowed to touch it?" Silence, then laughter, then more laughter. Kelsey Mitchell nearly dropped her phone. Aliyah Boston was doubled over. Even the PR staff couldn't keep straight faces. "What do you mean, are we allowed to touch it?" Erica Wheeler howled, throwing an arm around her. "It's yours, Caitlin!" Boston laughed. "We won it." Clark blushed and laughed too, her Midwestern humility shining through like a beam of light in a thunderstorm. "I just didn't want to get in trouble," she said sheepishly, still eyeing the cup like it was on loan from a museum. The video of the moment went viral within hours. On X, formerly known as Twitter, it was clipped, captioned, and memed into oblivion. Caitlin Clark asking if she can touch the trophy she just helped win is peak Midwest. Your eyes, not your hands. Caitlin? Yes, ma'am. Caitlin Clark has main character energy and main hall monitor energy. We stan. For a star who had already earned a reputation for shattering records and drawing millions of viewers. It was the most humanizing moment yet. In an age of ego-driven sound bites and chest thumping, here was a player who led a trophy run and still asked permission to hold the hardware. Ooh! But beneath the surface, the question said more than it seemed. Clark's hesitation wasn't just funny. It was endearing and emblematic of her character. A deep respect for the game, a humility in the face of greatness, a genuine understanding that even when you are the reason a trophy arrives in your locker room, it still feels sacred. She's grown up idolizing championships, not expecting them. Even when she earns one, she still sees it as something to be revered, not taken for granted. I told her she'd be on TV. Even when she earns one, she still sees it as something to be revered, not taken for granted. After the laughter died down, Clark finally took the commissioner's cup in her hands. Her smile widened as her teammates cheered and snapped photos. She posed with it, she kissed it, and yes, someone even passed her a can of sparkling water to pour into it for the obligatory trophy sip. Later, when asked about the moment in the postgame press conference, Clark chuckled again. I don't know, I think I was still in that freshman in high school at her first prom mode. Like, is this really happening? Can I really touch this? I mean, it's beautiful and heavy. Aliyah Boston leaned into the microphone. She's just a respectful legend in the making. That's our Caitlin. The Fever's win marked more than just a mid-season tournament triumph. It was a cultural shift, a sign that the team was finding its rhythm and that Caitlin Clark's impact wasn't just filling seats, but bringing silverware home. Her talent was never in question, but now the world saw something more. Her heart, her humor, her humility. That one question, simple, sincere, and side-splitting, became a metaphor for everything she brought to the league. Not just excitement, but grace. Not just highlights, but humanity. She reminded everyone that even superstars are sometimes just kids at heart, careful not to smudge a trophy before they've had time to believe it's truly theirs. And as the Fever carried the cup into the night, parading it with music blasting and cameras flashing, Caitlin Clark walked just behind it, one hand on the base, still smiling, still a little in awe.